So I'm now running with this powerful model, GPT-OSS, and hopefully you're either doing the same or you're using a smaller model like Phi 3 or one of the Gemma variants, or perhaps something from Llama, which is made by Meta. And I'm going to try and use this for a true purpose. I'm going to say, hi, I'm trying to learn Spanish. I'm a total beginner. Please have a conversation with me as my Spanish tutor. All right, let's see how it does. And this is the kind of thing that you might see in a commercial app like Duolingo. First of all, notice that it starts by describing its thought process in this different color, in this gray color here. And then we get the final answer. It says, Hola, soy de tutor de español. Forgive my horrible accent. I assure you, I am significantly better with LLMs than I am with Spanish. All right, and you could see it says, yo, hola, and it wants me to respond. And so I could say, hola, me llamo Ed. And then you can see that it says de donde eres. So it will gradually take you through the process of having a beginner level conversation in Spanish. And the great thing about this is that this is quite similar to the kind of functionality that you might find in an app. So I wanted to do this to show you that right off the bat, you can start getting actual value from running an open source AI large language model locally on your computer. Even if you speak terrible Spanish like me, and hopefully I'll get better over time. Next time I record this, I'm going to have a great accent. So anyways, have fun with it. Use this, try out different models, try exploring how the larger size models are able to be more intelligent in how they interact with you. See these thinking type models. We'll be talking a lot more about them in the coming days. Get some exposure to this and enjoy the fact that you are harnessing the power of a large language model locally on your computer. Now, I'm hoping you've had a really enjoyable rabbit hole experience of trying out different models, experimenting and being enamored by the power of these things. But I have to pull you back. It is time now for us to talk about everything that I've got in store for you for the next 8 weeks. And this is a timeline that I'll be showing you frequently. It's a timeline that shows you where you start over on the left and the 8 weeks that I have in store for you. Tomorrow, I'm going to go through this in a lot more detail, but there's going to be this week, which will be more foundational. Next week is about frontier models. The week after is about open source models. Then it's about selecting the right model for the task at hand. Then it will be about RAG. We'll go deep on RAG, one of the hottest topics in AI. Then we will fine-tune a frontier model and then fine-tune an open source model. And finally, I will introduce Agentic AI in the final week of our 8-week series. And at that point, you'll be able to wave a flag and say, I am now an LLM engineer. I have reached this milestone to mastery. And I've built a comprehensive curriculum for you throughout the next 8 weeks. And one of the things I love about it is it really builds and builds and builds. We start by covering a range of different models, different LLMs, open source and closed source. Then we cover a lot of toolkits, libraries, frameworks that use those LLMs, things like Hugging Face, Gradio for user interfaces, LangChain, Weights and Biases, Modal.com. And then building on top of that, we apply different techniques to getting the most performance out of LLMs. Techniques like RAG, fine-tuning, and agents. But by far, the best thing about this course is the building. I'm a big believer in learning by doing. I think the best way to learn is by building great commercial projects. And that we will do from multimodal projects to commercial consumer applications to something that's more technical about porting code from one language to another to stuff that involves vectors and training with lots of charts. And finally, a whopper of a commercial project at the end. So be prepared for lots of juicy building. And you may have noticed that I have other courses out there. I'm wondering how this fits in, or maybe you've taken some of those other courses. And the answer is that this course is complementary to the others and you can take them in any order. There is perhaps a natural order. This course is quite foundational and lays the groundwork. So it might be better to take this first, at least the first couple of weeks of it, but it doesn't matter if you take up on the other ones. Agentic AI, a companion course, which is all about applying this kind of LLM functionality to different agentic use cases and frameworks. And you can see I've put that there. It's just slightly higher up because it's sort of taking it to maybe the next step, but you could take agentic AI first and then LLM engineering if you preferred. AI in production is a very different course that I've got that takes whatever you build and allows you to deploy it at scale in a production setting on a cloud platform like AWS. And then I also have a briefing for founders and leaders, which is intended for a non-technical audience. It's commercial first and foremost. But I will say actually that I strongly recommend that even technical people do consider taking this briefing because I think it's a superpower for tech people like us to also have a good sense of the commercial applications of LLMs. And so again, the courses complement each other, take them in whatever order you like. Maybe it's most natural to start with LLM engineering, but it doesn't matter if you've already done the others and you're coming to it now. And most importantly, I've designed this curriculum and this course so that it will appeal to everyone. If you are a complete beginner and you're coming to AI for the first time, prepare to be astonished, but this will be a nice, smooth on-ramp for you. But also, if you're a pro, then sure, some of the stuff in weeks 1 and 2 are going to be things you already know, absolutely. But I'm hoping to still tease you with some interesting new content too. There'll be something that might surprise you. Something for everyone, that's the plan. All right, just before we get into it, let me now quickly introduce myself. Yes, so to convince you that I'm actually qualified to talk to you about this, my name's Ed Donner. I am the co-founder and CTO of an AI startup called Nebula. You can check us out at nebula.io. And I spent most of my career at JP Morgan, where I started out in London, which is where I'm from originally, and then spent some time in Tokyo, and then moved to NYC, which is where I am at right now. And most recently at JP Morgan, I was a managing director running a technology team of about 300 software engineers and scientists. And before Nebula, I was the founder and CEO of an AI startup called Untapped. And this is a magical moment for me. This is a picture from a Times Square billboard on the day that the acquisition of my AI startup was announced a couple of years ago, which was really great. And in case you don't believe me, I can prove it. If you squint and you look super carefully near the bottom right of that picture is in fact a little picture of me in there, just to prove that it was in fact me with this startup. But that was my moment in Times Square. And I think it's obligatory with these things to have some kind of personal life picture. So here's me in front of a plane that I just flew. And you might think I'm showing this because I'm very skilled at flying planes, but quite on the contrary, my great talent when it comes to all things LLM is only surpassed by my complete inability to do anything that requires hand-eye coordination. So if you're walking onto a plane and you glance into the cockpit and you see that it's me there holding the yoke, then you want to be looking for a parachute really quickly. But if you've come to some online course and it's on LLMs and you see that it's this guy giving the talk on LLMs, then congratulations. That is my sweet spot. You've come to the right place. Let's get on with it. I will just mention also that one cool thing about that bottom right-hand picture is that I actually live right there as well. Strangely, not many people live in Times Square, but I live like a block from Times Square, right behind where that Hard Rock Cafe guitar is. I'm kind of behind there, and I'm looking out at that right now. So you sort of picture me looking out where those two lines meet right now. And the other place where I am is on LinkedIn. And I got to warn you, I'm going to go on about this like 100 times. I love connecting with people on LinkedIn. Some people are coy about connecting on LinkedIn. They're like, you can tell me where we met and I might connect with you. I'm not like that at all. If you want to connect with me, then I'm thrilled. Send me an invite and I'll connect. You could say hi and I'll say hi back. It's not an agent. It'll really be me. You could also just send the connect and I'll accept it. Whilst it's not an agent, I do reserve the right occasionally to copy and paste some of my answers because I do get through quite a lot of them. But I will always, for sure, interact with you and I love it. And also, if you post information about the course, if you post your progress through the course or projects that you build and you tag me on your LinkedIn post, then I will come in and weigh in and add to it. And I find it such a fabulous way to amplify your achievement and also to get other people in the community, other data scientists seeing it and responding as well. So please do that liberally. It sometimes takes me a few days, but I will get there. Tag me and let me weigh in. And so in summary, I'm a software engineer, a data scientist, an entrepreneur, and a leader in the field of AI. But there's something else I do as well. In 2024, a friend of mine persuaded me to make a Udemy course teaching other people about AI. And it was, of course, the first version of this course, LLM engineering. And I made a few others since. And I've been so lucky that they've been quite successful. And there's now more than 250,000 people taking my different Udemy courses. And it's been a total joy. And I love interacting with people on it. It's also such a great opportunity for everyone on it because, as I say, you can post on LinkedIn, I can weigh in, and it has such a multiplier effect in the community to get everyone involved in your journey. And that's why I urge you to post about it and enjoy the journey, enjoy the experience, and share it with all of us.